Hi everybody and welcome back to the tasting room. We're sampling today a cask finished Breckenridge. This is a Colorado bourbon. Alright, so this one here has been aged for a minimum of 3 years, obviously in virgin oak casks, before then being transferred to PX Sherry Casks for finishing, and that's Pedro Ximenez Sherry Casks. And then this one was bottled at 45% alcohol, or 90 proof. Alright, so the sherry influence is immediately apparent on this one. Whew. Very fruity. Man, just look at that color. Man, it's just rich copper, almost with a reddish tint. So again here, dried fruit on the nose, figs and apricot. Also a good amount of vanilla in there. Also getting a note of, I don't know, maybe orange peel, marmalade, something like that. Something orangey. Ooh, fruity and sweet though here. Very pleasant aroma. Okay, on the palate, intensely fruity. More of those dried figs. We've got dried cherries. And man, sweet, very sweet. I'm going to go ahead and say candied orange peel. There's still some vanilla in there, but man, it's almost sugary, as sweet as this one is. Well, this is definitely, if you're not a huge whiskey lover, but you drink those fortified wines, I mean, this is certainly a sherry lover's whiskey here for sure. You know, actually, as sweet as this is, it almost makes me wonder if they forgot to dump out the sherry before they dumped the bourbon into the cask. Near the finish, there's a hint of spice. Can't quite peg it. You know, it's not nutmeg. Maybe a little peppery. You know, I assume so. Supposedly this is a fairly high rye content here on the mash bill. You know, so that would typically leave some more spicy, peppery notes, more so than I'm getting anyway. But yeah, that spice is quickly gone in the finish, and you're just you're left with those sugary cherries and orangey notes. All right. So on the nose for this one here, we had a lot of those good, sweet, fruity qualities that you would typically expect on the nose of a sherry cask finished whiskey. You know, so some of those dried fruits. I think we said figs and apricots. You know, there was a good, strong presence of vanilla that lets you know it was still a bourbon. And I'd say all in all, this was a very pleasant nose. I'm going to go ahead and give the nose for this one 22.5 points. On the palate, again, initially intensely fruity. Dried cherries, some candied orange peel, a little bit of more vanilla in there, but definitely a huge sugary sweetness. Lots and lots of sherry influence. And I almost think it would have been better if they didn't leave it in. I don't know how long they left it in the sherry casks, but I'm guessing it was just a little bit too long, at least for my tastes. You know, so a pleasant sipper, definitely tasty, but again, a sherry lover's whiskey, I would have to say. You know, all in all, it was a pleasant sipper. I'm going to go ahead and give the taste 18.5 points. The finish wasn't particularly long. We had a little bit of rye spice in there that kind of popped up for a minute or two, and then all of a sudden it was gone, and you were left with that sugary sweetness of the candied orange and the dried cherries. I'm going to give the finish for this one 17 points, and then the overall balance I'm going to put at 16.5. Again, it was a tasty whiskey, but just too sweet. And I realize what that sounds like because bourbon is an inherently sweet spirit, but yeah, this one was just a little bit over the top for my taste, and I think took away from the rest of the whiskey. So there you have it. That'll leave us with an overall score of 74.5 points for this Breckenridge Pedro Ximenez cask finished bourbon. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you go ahead and smash that like button. And then if you're not already a member of my channel, go ahead and hit that button and subscribe. And then after you do, make sure you ding that little bell next to the subscribe button. And make sure you get notifications of new videos that come out. New videos come out on the weekends, and I would hate for you to miss one. So go ahead and do that for me, and I will see you again next week right here on The Tasting Room.